keys to the game. Plus, we'll hear from manager Mike Shildt.
Ultimately, what we're here to do is win.
From the Padres Radio Network, here's Sam Levitt.
San Diego Padres baseball coming up on 97.3 The Fan and the Padres Radio Network. Today, the Padres take on the Detroit Tigers in the second game of a three-game series. Our starting pitching matchup today for the Tigers, right-hander Jack Flaherty, and for the Padres, right-hander Nick Pivetta. Hi, good everyone. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios. First pitch coming up at 3:40 at Comerica Park in Detroit. Coming up in the next 50 minutes, we'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. We'll hear from Padres reliever Jason Adam. And in just a few minutes, we check in with Gwynn Jr. in Detroit. But first, it's time to set the table. Brought to you by Fraser Farms Market. Set your table with the highest quality of natural and organic products from Fraser Farms Market, a San Diego original since 1971 with 3 locations, La Mesa, Vista, and Oceanside, and at FraserFarmsMarket.com. Padres are 16-7 to begin the season. Padres just 1-3, though, on this 6-game road trip to Houston and Detroit. Padres are now 12-1 at home to begin the year, but now just 4-6 on the road. Meanwhile, the Tigers continue to play well. They're 14-9 entering today after getting swept by the Dodgers to begin the season. Tigers have now won 14 of their last 20 games. That includes winning 4 out of their last 5. Tigers have also been really good at home so far. They're 9-2 at Comerica Park. Before we turn our full attention to today's game, let's rewind.
Did you miss what happened in the last Padres game? Let's take a look back with our Padres Rewind on the Padres Radio Network.
Padres had an early 1-0 lead when Randy Vasquez took the mound in the bottom half of the first inning. Gleyber Torres hit a leadoff single for the Tigers. Zach McKinstry was next.
3-2 ripped down the right field line. That is a fair ball. Going to bounce a couple of times and hit off the fence in the corner. Torres is going to be waved at third base. Fernando's throw comes into Iglesias. He cannot make a relay to the plate. And McKinstry standing at third base with an RBI triple as the Tigers have tied it 1-1 here in the first.
Vasquez would get the next 2 outs, but then it was Colt Keith.
Is the 1-0. Keith hits it hard on the ground. One hop to Iglesias. Eats him up. Hits off the glove into right field. And McKinstry will come in to score the go-ahead run.
Padres scratched the run across in the top of the second to tie the game, but we were not tied for long. Vasquez gave up 2 runs in the bottom half of the second as the Tigers took a 4-2 lead. More trouble for Randy Vasquez in the bottom half of the third. He walked the first 2 batters of the inning. He was replaced by Logan Gillespie after getting just 6 outs and throwing 68 pitches. Tigers would load the bases against Gillespie for Gleyber Torres.
2-2 pitch is lined up the middle into center to base hit. Young has scored. Sweeney's on his way. He's going to score without a throw. A 2-run single for Gleyber Torres. And the Tigers now lead 6-2.
So the Tigers had a 6-2 lead, but the Padres chipped away in the top of the 5th inning. Gavin Sheets had a big swing.
Now the 1-0. Sheets swings, hits it in the air to left field pretty deep. Green going back, still going back. He is on the warning track at the wall. He leaps up, and it's going to go. A home run the other way for Gavin Sheets. His 3rd of the year, and the Padres get one. It's 6-3 here in the 5th.
Padres weren't done. Later in the inning, there were runners on first and third with 2 men away for Oscar Gonzalez.
2-2. Gonzalez hits it on the ground through the right side and a base hit. Manny will come in to score. An RBI single for Oscar Gonzalez. And now a 2-run game as the throw gets away on the infield. And Gonzalez going to be out at second.
So Gonzalez thrown out at second. That ended the inning. The Padres bullpen did a great job keeping the game at a 2-run deficit. Great work from Logan Gillespie, Wandy Peralta, and Yuki Matsui to keep the Tigers at 6 runs. But the problem was the Padres weren't getting any closer. They only had 1 hit in the final 4 innings of the game yesterday. Final score in Detroit yesterday, the Tigers 6 and the Padres 4. Now the Padres trying to bounce back in the middle game of this 3-game set. Let's go out to Comerica Park in Detroit.
Let's take a trip up to the Padres broadcast booth for a deep dive on today's matchup with Gwynn Jr. in our Padres game preview on the Padres Radio Network.
Tony, let's start with the Padres lineup. Obviously, they're trying to piece things together with all these injuries right now. So I'll ask a very general question, Tony, but when you look at this Padre lineup right now, what is the formula for them outputting as many runs as they possibly can, considering the guys they're missing?
From an offensive standpoint,
yes.
I think that the formula doesn't change. I mean, I know there's this kind of knee-jerk reaction because you're missing three of your dogs out there that somehow they're going to come up with a new concept of how they're going to go score runs. It doesn't change for this offense. And it's really, we often hear the term next man up. It truly has to be that way. Padres aren't going to become this power hitting team all of a sudden. They're not going to all of a sudden only play small ball. They're going to continue to do things the way they've been working at them all spring and in the beginning of the season. It's just the names are a little bit different. And, obviously when you're losing a guy like Jackson Merrill, Luis Ariz, Jake Cronenworth, those guys are at least two of those guys, all three of those guys have been all-stars at one point. So you're not going to just replace those guys and it's just going to be the same. But these guys can still go out and win ball games. They just have a smaller room for error.
Oh, one thing that could really help the Padres is good starting pitching. Today, right-hander Nick Pivetta on the mound for the Padres. And I want to ask you about Nick's splits in a second here, Tony. But really, aside from 3 innings in Chicago against the Cubs on a bitterly cold day at Wrigley Field, Nick has been terrific so far in his early Padres career. In a general sense, what stood out to you about Pivetta so far?
Man, really everything. His fastball command. We figured out pretty early that curveball is kind of like his safety valve. But what we've come to see from Nick is he's really using all of his pitches outside of those 3 innings, as you said. He's been phenomenal with command. He's using all 4 quadrants of the zone. And just to go back to your first point, which is what could help this team. The one thing that's not hurting is the pitching. And going into the season, I think that was considered a pretty strong spot for this team. So if the Padres are to kind of be able to stave off these injuries, the pitching is going to have to be the thing that they ride. And I think when you got a guy like Nick Pivetta, you got to feel pretty good about your chances based on the way he's pitched.
Yeah, I agree with you. And before I ask you another question about Pivetta, just to point it out to our listeners, the games the Padres have lost lately, they've lost by 1 run in Houston, 2 runs in Houston, and then the extra inning game against the Cubs, they lost by 1. So it's not like the Padres are getting blown out in these games. The pitching has held up for the most part. On Pivetta, lefties have gone just 4 for 41 against him so far. Tony, he's been really good against left-handed batters. What is it about Pivetta that you think is allowing him to have that kind of success against lefties?
Well, I think first and foremost, that fastball, curveball mix that he uses, I think is something that you don't see a lot.
Yeah.
But I think the sweeper, the cutter that he's using a little bit, he'll use the sinker every once in a while, but I think it just boils down to location. He uses that cutter to keep left-handed hitters honest, right? They can't go, hunting out over the plate when they know that cutter, which has been really effective for Nick, is kind of an equalizer. So it keeps the left-handed hitters honest, and then that's where he can use that curveball, which we've seen him use a lot against lefties to finish them. And I expect to see something similar here today.
Right-hander Jack Flaherty on the mound for the Tigers today. First time the Padres will see Flaherty since last year's National League Division Series. We know during that series, him and Manny got into it, back and forth on the field. Obviously, there were other things going on as well in a very emotional series. We know Nick Pivetta, he's a guy who likes to pitch with a lot of emotion as well. Tony, I'll ask you from the former player perspective, any of that carry over into 2025 with Flaherty on the mound, or you think that's behind us?
I think that's behind us. I know from Flaherty's standpoint, he's talked about it kind of just being one of those, everybody's hyper intense and in an environment where, those games really, really matter. So, no, I don't think there'll be any kind of residual effects from it. I think it's postseason, man. Like, those are games where as you win, you go home, or you lose, you go home. And so I completely get how signals can get crossed. And then, the media did their part to kind of blow that up even further than it probably was to those guys. But I don't expect to see anything from that. I think the Padres are more concerned about going out and finding a way to even this series to give them a chance to win tomorrow and then maybe go home with another 500 road trip.
All right, Tony, good stuff as always. We'll talk to you and Jesse coming up at 3:30 here in San Diego. As always, thanks so much.
No problem, Sam.
All right, Tony Gwynn Jr. joining us on our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show here on the Padres Radio Network as we get ready for first pitch coming up at 3:40 in Detroit for Game 2 of this 3-game series. Let's read through the Padres lineup today. In right field, Fernando Tatis Jr. leading off, Gavin Sheets at first base batting second, Manny Machado, the DH, batting third, Xander Bogaerts at shortstop batting cleanup, Oscar Gonzalez in left field batting fifth, Jose Iglesias, the third baseman, batting sixth, Elias Diaz, the catcher, batting seventh, Tyler Wade back in center batting eighth, and Mason McCoy will make his 2025 debut for the Padres playing second base and batting ninth. As always, if you want to get involved on our pregame coverage, you can do that in a number of different ways. You can find me on X or Instagram at Sammy Lev, SAMMYLEV. Again, SAMMYLEV. You can mention me on X. You can send me a DM on Instagram. Let me know, what is your key to today's game? How do the Padres pick up a win? You can also comment on the YouTube stream if you're watching on YouTube, and I may just read your comment live here on the air coming up a little bit later. We have a little bit of extra time to spare in our pregame coverage today, so get those DMs in, get those mentions in, get those comments in, because I will today, I promise. If you get them in and I like them, I'll address some of your keys to the game live here on the air. When we come back, we hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt, plus a little bit later, we hear from Padres reliever Jason Adam. First pitch coming up at 3:40 in Detroit, Michigan. You're listening to the Padres Radio Network.
Stay tuned to the EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame.
Our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network as we get ready for Game 2 of this 3-game set between the Padres and the Tigers. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios. We go out to Jesse and Tony at Comerica Park at 3:30. First pitch coming up at 3:40. As always, we invite you to get involved in our pregame coverage. I told you today in particular, I got a little extra time for you. So let me know, what are your keys to today's game? You can find me on X or Instagram at SammyLev, SammyLev. You can also comment on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube stream as well. We have David chiming in on X saying the key to the game: do not walk leadoff batters. That's always a smart key to any ball game. And we know yesterday walks were an issue for Randy Vasquez and the Padres pitching staff. Randy walking 3, hitting a batter in his start as well. All those issues contributing to Randy being charged with 6 runs in just 2+ innings in yesterday's 6-4 loss against the Tigers. So certainly not walking leadoff batters for the Padres pitching staff. A very, very big key to today's game. Right-hander Nick Pivetta on the mound for the Padres today. Right-hander Jack Flaherty on the mound for the Tigers. And with all that in mind, let's hear from the Padres skipper.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Served up by Sin Lee Food, where fresh meets flavor. Find farm fresh produce, bold Asian spices, and gourmet ingredients at 4665 El Cajon Boulevard. Sin Lee Food, the cook's Asian resource.
Yeah, really excited to watch Nick pitch. He's throwing the ball very, very well for us. He is a good competitor. All our guys compete well. They compete in their own ways. Nick's a fiery guy, and he gets into the competition. I love it. He's throwing the ball very well for us, and excited tonight.
He seems to be able to have that sort of passion and emotion on the mound without it distracting. It's not always an easy thing to do.
Yeah, it's how you channel everything, right? What can work for you can occasionally work against you. But we noticed with Nick is everything he does is, under control with aggression and intent.
Manny getting the day off with feet, doing the DHing. How much of a luxury is it to have somebody like Iglesias that you can put over there? I know you got a pretty solid third baseman there too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Hosey's been able to do a nice job on a lot of levels for us, but him being able to bounce over to third base, not miss anything is very important. Get Manny off his feet, into the road trip, turnaround game tomorrow. He's been getting after it. Manny had his fastest sprint speed yesterday, home to first on a tough travel day. So he's doing a really great job, been on the bases a lot. So good day to just let him DH.
We talked about a lot, but Gavin Sheets just continues to step up and do whatever it is that you guys seem to ask him to do. How impressive has he been continuing to be for you?
Yeah, he's impressed from really the beginning of spring training and hasn't stopped. Really pleased with what Gavin's been able to do. He's been a big part of this club, and we're excited to have him in there.
You can quite see how much intensity he was going with today. But what did you do, in those games?
Find out more about the intensity level. Talked about it before his side about, him being able to throw, and he feels like he's in a really good place. And again, their recovery is important, but I'll get more information on how aggressive he was with it during the side. But everything's pointing in a positive direction for Darvish.
It seems like that's kind of checking boxes every step of the way. Like it's been trending in the right direction.
It's been trending quite a bit in the right direction. As we would expect, we're letting you drive a lot of it. A lot of experience, knows his body. But he's in a good place, and the progression is taking place. Has been positive.
That was Padres manager Mike Shildt earlier today inside the Padres dugout. You heard a little bit there about Nick Pivetta. You also heard about Yu Darvish, the latest on him as he continues to work his way back from dealing with elbow inflammation. Yu just starting to throw some bullpens right now. You heard some questions there about the intensity of those bullpen sessions. And as we get updates on you and the rest of the Padres injured players right now, unfortunately, a lot of them right now on the IL, we'll continue to pass that along. And we'll also have updates for you on our injury report coming up in just a little bit. Let's quickly pause for station ID on the Padres Radio Network.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
Hey, what's up? This is Nick Pivetta. You're listening to Padres Baseball on the Padres Radio Network.
And Odyssey Sports Station.
Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios as we get ready for today's game on the Padres Radio Network. We go out to Jesse and Tony in just about a half hour at 3:30 p.m. Let's read through some of your keys to today's game. Let's go to YouTube. We go to Clay in the South Bay saying key to the game, tight defense and solid starting pitching. Clay, I would say solid starting pitching in particular, a big key today. Padres could use a good start from right-hander Nick Pivetta, who for the most part has been very, very good in his early Padres career. Katie saying the key to the game, get to Jack early. And Katie talking about Jack Flaherty, the Tigers starting pitcher. Flaherty's been pretty good to start his season, his second tour with the Tigers. Of course, Flaherty was on the Tigers last season, then got traded to the Dodgers at the trade deadline, and then the Tigers got him back in free agency this past winter. And we'll read one more key from Instagram. It's Tommy chiming in. Tommy saying, the Grit Squad gets rolling 6 through 9 at the bottom of the order and stakes Pivetta to a 2-0 early lead to work with. Defense also plays a crisp game. All right, Tommy making predictions about how this one is going to go. But you're right, Tommy, getting the bottom of the order going. It's going to be a big deal in the days to come. And the last 5 spots in the lineup, we focused on that throughout the last few days. Today, it's Gonzalez, Iglesias, Diaz, Wade, and Mason McCoy also making his 2025 debut, playing second base and batting ninth. Let's tell you who's hot, who's not.
Which player is locked in at the dish? Who needs to kick things up another notch? This is Who's Hot, Who's Not on the Padres Radio Network.
We begin with a look at the hot category. Guess who? Fernando Tatis Jr. back in there. Now the reigning National League Player of the Week. He's reached base safely in all 22 games this season, which is now tied for the longest on-base streak of his career. He can set a new career-long on-base streak today. Tatis is hitting .333 with 6 home runs and 10 RBIs during a 10-game hitting streak. He leads the NL with 8 home runs, ranks second in batting average at .349. He ranks second in OPS in the NL at .1087. He also has 7 stolen bases. Fernando continues to roll, did have a base hit and a run scored in yesterday's game. Gavin Sheets, the new number 2 hitter for the Padres, playing first base today. Sheets 7 for 16 in his last 4 games. Sheets now batting .344 on the season, 3 home runs, 4 doubles, and 5 walks. The not category, Yuli Gurriel, only 3 for 26 to begin his Padres career. Yuli not in the Padres lineup tonight, but we may see him come off the bench at some point. And Elias Diaz is 0 for his last 10. Diaz is in the lineup batting 7th and behind the plate today. And that's a look at who's hot, who's not, as we get ready for first pitch coming up at 3:40 in Detroit. Let's take you around the horn.
Let's examine the most important news and the latest information you need to know in the world of Major League Baseball. Sam Levitt takes you around the horn. Presented by Valley View Casino and Hotel. Get ready for Major League winning when you join Valley View Casino and Hotel's Players Club and receive over $200 in free instant offers. Visit valleyviewcasino.com to learn more today.
A few quick headlines for you. White Sox lefty Martin Perez, former Padre, did a nice job with the Padres in the second half of last season. He'll likely miss the remainder of the season with an elbow injury. He has an injury to the flexor tendon, but will apparently not need Tommy John, but apparently Perez likely out for the rest of the year. More injury news. Braves right-hander Spencer Strider strained his right hamstring yesterday while playing catch and was put on the 15-day IL. Atlanta made the move retroactive to Friday. That was only 2 days after Strider returned from elbow surgery and made his first big league appearance since April of 2024. Now Strider back on the IL with a hamstring injury. Brian Bayo makes his season debut as the Red Sox host the Mariners at Fenway Park today. The club's 2024 opening day starter began the year on the IL due to shoulder inflammation. So some quick headlines, mostly injury-related. Guys going on the IL, guys coming back, and we'll have a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard coming up a little bit later as well. When we return, we hear from Padres reliever Jason Adam, plus we go through some of the injury news for both the Padres and the Tigers, our keys to the game, and much, much more to come as we get ready for first pitch coming up at 3:40 in Detroit on the Padres Radio Network.
Hello, my friends. It's Woodsy. Did you know your water quality affects everything? Your skin, your health, even your home pipes and appliances. That's why I made...
Back to the EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show. EcoWater SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. Your water should be perfect. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios as we get ready for today's game on the Padres radio network. First pitch coming up at 3:40. Padres come in 16-7 on the year. Tigers playing well at 14-9. We go out to Jesse Aguilar and Tony Gwynn Jr. in just about 22 minutes. They come your way from Comerica Park at 3:30 as the Padres try to bounce back in the middle game of this three-game series after the Padres fell 6-4 yesterday in Detroit. Right-hander Nick Pivetta on the mound for the Padres. Right-hander Jack Flaherty on the mound for the Tigers. And we'll see how those two do today. And we'll have a full breakdown of that starting pitching matchup coming up in just a little bit. But before I get to anything else baseball related, let me share a little part of my morning today. Had a great workout over by Liberty Station. Nice coffee, nice little breakfast, and I'm driving back to my apartment in OB. I'm coming down the hill from Point Loma. I'm looking out at the Pacific Ocean, and I think to myself, wow, isn't this place beautiful? Isn't San Diego just the best? What a beautiful day in a beautiful city. And then I found out that today is Earth Day, a great day to celebrate our beautiful planet. And I bring it up not only to celebrate San Diego, tell you about my morning and really bask in the glow of San Diego for a moment, but also because Major League Baseball yesterday announced that the Padres were named the winners of the league's Green Glove Award, recognizing the club that demonstrates outstanding commitment to diverting the most waste through the duration of a season. During the 2024 season, the Padres maintained an impressive diversion rate of over 95%, with a 46% increase in total materials diverted year over year. This is the first time San Diego has received the distinction since its inception in 2008. So congratulations to the Padres. Again, they were announced the winners of MLB's Green Glove Award. Great note on Earth Day. Celebrate the Earth. Treat it well. Take a look at the latest injury news for the Padres and the Tigers.
Who's in? Who's out? This is the Bada Fulkerson Injury Report, presented by San Diego's Bulldog Injury Attorneys, who hope you're never in an accident. But if you are, make Bada Fulkerson the first call you make. Hit them up 24/7 at badafulkerson.com.
Well, we have no new injury news for the Padres. Obviously, they're dealing with a ton of major injuries right now, as you likely know. Latest, Luis Ariz put on the 7-day IL yesterday. He is in concussion protocol. Mason McCoy was the corresponding move. He was called up from AAA El Paso. McCoy, again, in the starting lineup today. Padres without Jackson Merrill, without Jake Cronenworth, without Jason Hayward, and they're trying to make do without all those guys in the lineup right now. As far as the Tigers, Kerry Carpenter is back in the Tigers lineup today. He was day-to-day and then missed yesterday's game after coming out of Sunday's game with hamstring soreness. And I should mention, before he missed yesterday's game, he had been red hot. 15 for his last 32 when he came out of that game on Sunday. So beware of Kerry Carpenter, very top of the Tigers lineup. He's DHing today for the Tigers. And that's a quick look at the injury report, who's in and who's out. Again, Kerry Carpenter back in the Tigers lineup today. Well, Jason Adam continues to put together just a stellar time as a San Diego Padre after such a good run following the trade from the Tampa Bay Rays last summer. He is picked up right where he left off in 2025. Adam, 11 appearances so far this season, a 0.75 ERA, 12 innings. He struck out 17 in those 12 innings so far, and Adam got 5 really big outs in that win in Houston on Sunday. Jason Adam joined 97.3 The Fan last week, so let's revisit some of the things that Jason had to say. Here was Jason Adam on how he approaches analytics.
I like to use the analytics when I'm throwing my bullpen so I can see how my stuff's moving. And then once I know my stuff's in a good spot, or even if it's not, I know what I'm going to battle with. It's all about kind of trying to be unpredictable and honestly following our catchers. Our catchers here do an incredible job game planning. Ruben does a great job game planning. Peter, everyone that's involved does an awesome job game planning, and I lean on them for that. They're a lot smarter than I am, so my job is just to try to execute the pitch that they think is right.
That was Jason Adam on how he treats analytics. Some good insight there into how he gets ready for an outing, how he evaluates his stuff. As far as the arsenal for Jason Adam, interesting this year, the changeup he's throwing 37%, his slider at 28%, his four-seam fastball at 20%, also mixing in the sweeper and occasionally the cutter as well. I'm not really sure if he throws the cutter, although StatCast has labeled a couple of those fastballs as cutters. But again, focus on the changeup. 37% changeup so far this season. Here was Jason Adam last week here on 97.3 The Fan talking about what's going into throwing his changeup more this season.
It's based on circumstance a lot. I think it is definitely my best pitch, so I do lean on it. And I think there's also factors like I was, especially early, falling behind guys a lot. So the count dictates what pitches I throw. You know, if I'm getting ahead with different pitches, I'm going to be putting away with different pitches. So I think not really intent. I didn't come into the season saying I'm going to try to bump my changeup usage to 60% or whatever. It's just I fell behind some guys, and so what am I going to throw? I'm going to try to throw a changeup or something off speed.
That was Padres reliever Jason Adam last week here on 97.3 The Fan. If you want to go back and listen to that full interview, you can do that on the Odyssey app or on 97.3thefansd.com. That was on the Gwynn and Chris program back on Friday. Before we get into our keys to the game, one thing to note and to really keep an eye on in today's game. The Tigers are a team that sees a lot of pitches in the first inning. The Tigers are averaging seeing 20.4 pitches in the first inning this season, the best mark in the American League, the second best in the majors, behind only the Phillies. And I bring it up not just so you know that, but they did it again yesterday to Randy Vasquez. Randy threw 30 pitches in the first inning yesterday. So one thing to keep in mind when that bottom half of the first inning begins today in Detroit, can Nick Pivetta get through this inning quickly? Because this is a Tigers lineup. They love to see pitches early and really make a starting pitcher work. Again, Randy Vasquez had to throw 30 pitches to get through that first inning yesterday. With that in mind, let's give you our keys to today's game.
How will the Padres unlock a win today? These are the keys to the game. Presented by El Centro Motors Ford. Meet your new Ford General Manager, Greg Ryan, now at El Centro Motors Ford, your new Ford truck, Bronco, and SUV HQ. Call Greg directly at 619-944-0774.
Key number one, get a good start. The Padres rotation has not been great in the 4 games on this road trip. A combined 15 earned runs allowed in 17-plus innings, and today they give the ball to Nick Pivetta, who's mostly been outstanding so far this season. They need a good start from Nick today. Worth noting, Pavetta's only bad outing this season came on the road when he gave up 3 runs and 3 walks in just 3 innings at Wrigley Field. Pivetta has a 0.45 ERA in his other 3 starts this season, all of them at home. So the one bad start for Pivetta was on the road. He'll make his second road start of the season here today. Key number 2, limit the top of the Tigers lineup. The top 3 of the Tigers lineup yesterday was terrific. Gleyber Torres, Zach McKinstry, and Riley Green. They combined to drive in 4 of the Tigers' 6 runs. Torres had his first 3-hit game as a Tiger. McKinstry had his second consecutive 3-hit game. He's now 8 for 15 in his last 4 games, and Green had an RBI single and a walk. And oh, by the way, Spencer Torkelson, the Tigers' cleanup hitter, had a base hit last night. He's batting .333 with 2 home runs, 9 RBIs during a 6-game hitting streak. Only Aaron Judge has more RBI in the American League than Torkelson's 21. So Torkelson has been a big-time run producer so far this season. So again, you look at the top of the lineup today. Again, Carpenter is at the top today, so you got to be careful of him. But after that, it's Torres, Green, Torkelson, McKinstry, just noting it, not in the starting lineup today for the Tigers, but keep him in mind off the bench. But really, one way or another, the point is those 4, Torres, McKinstry, Green, Torkelson, beware of those guys. They're swinging the bat well, had a big impact on yesterday's game. Key number 3, we've mentioned this quite a bit the last few days, hit the ball hard. Across 23 games this season, the Padres offense has recorded a major league leading 13 games with 10-plus hits. They are just one of 2 teams to have at least 4 players with 7 or more multi-hit games this season. And really, here comes the hit it hard part of it. On the season, the Padres have the 8th highest hard hit percentage per swing, with the 7th most hard hit balls that resulted in a hit. So what you really need to know from that data, when the Padres hit it hard, it typically means good things, and they tend to hit it hard a lot. So hit it hard, hit it often. That's key number 3. Key number 4, let's focus on Dylan Dingler, the Tigers catcher, batting 7th today. Dingler ranks 2nd among American League catchers with a .276 batting average. He ranks 3rd in the American League with a .466 slugging percentage and 4th in the AL with a .765 OPS among American League catchers. So that's a guy, Dylan Dingler, that you probably haven't heard of here in San Diego, but get him out. He's dangerous. Dylan Dingler, the catcher for the Tigers today. And that's a look at our keys to the middle game of this 3-game series. Let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
All right, Padres playing in the Eastern time zone, so a rarity. Only 1 game going on right now. Everything else coming up in just a little bit or later. Yankees lead the Guardians 1-0 in Cleveland in the bottom half of the first inning. That's the only game already underway. Reds and the Marlins in Miami coming up at 3:40. Former Padre Nick Martinez on the mound for the Reds. Edward Cabrera on the mound for Miami. Orioles and the Nationals in D.C. at 3:45. Mariners and the Red Sox at 3:45 at Fenway Park. Like we said earlier, Brian Bayo making his season debut for the Red Sox. Bryce Miller on the mound for Seattle. Phillies and the Mets continue a big series in April in the NL East at 4:10 in New York. Christopher Sanchez on the mound for Philadelphia. Griffin Canning on the mound for the Mets. Cardinals and the Braves at 4:15 in Atlanta. White Sox and the Twins in Minnesota at 4:40. Rockies and the Royals in Kansas City at 4:40. Dodgers and the Cubs at 4:40 in Chicago. Dustin May on the mound for LA. Shota Imanaga on the mound for the Cubs. Blue Jays and the Astros at 5:10 in Houston. Chris Bassett on the mound for Toronto. Ronel Blanco on the mound for Houston. Pirates and the Angels in Anaheim at 6:38. Rays and the Diamondbacks in Arizona at 6:40. Brewers and the Giants in San Francisco at 6:45. Jose Quintana on the mound for Milwaukee. Jordan Hicks on the mound for the Giants. And finally, Rangers and the A's in Sacramento at 7:05. And that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Tuesday. When we come back, a full breakdown of our starting pitching matchup between Nick Pivetta and Jack Flaherty. That's next on the Padres Radio Network.
You're listening to the EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show. EcoWater SoCal.
Cal Padres pregame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios. First pitch coming up at 3:40. Let's tell you what to watch for in today's game in Detroit.
What's the one thing Sam Levitt will be keeping his eye on in today's game? This is What to Watch For, presented by Genesis Home Improvements, San Diego's trusted painting, roofing, and window company. Save 15% today on a new beginning for your home. Visit GenesisHomeImprovementsSD.com.
What to watch for in today's game? The matchup between Fernando Tatis Jr. and Jack Flaherty. Here's why. Fernando is 7 for 10 with 2 home runs and 4 doubles in his career against Flaherty. That includes a home run against him in Game 2 of last year's National League Division Series. And you know what? Our first matchup of the day is leading off for the Padres, El Nino, Fernando Tatis Jr. So that very first at-bat of the day. Watch that one. Tatis against Flaherty. That's what to watch for in today's game. Speaking of Jack Flaherty, let's take a look at our starting pitching matchup.
Let's take a look at who's on the bump today with our starting pitching preview on the Padres Radio Network.
On the mound for the Padres, right-hander Nick Pivetta. So far in 2025, 4 starts, a 1.57 ERA, 23 innings, 24 strikeouts, 5 walks. His last start against the Cubs allowed just 1 run in 6 innings, striking out 6 batters with 1 walk on a season-high 91 pitches. That came after Nick went 7 scoreless innings against the Rockies. And remember, he went 7 scoreless innings to begin his Padres career against the Braves. Left-handed batters have gone just 4 for 41 with 13 strikeouts and no home runs so far this season against Pivetta. So lefties batting just 0.98 against them. Righties at 256. Pivetta has a career 3.15 ERA against the Tigers in 20 innings against them. Made 2 starts against the Tigers last season, 1 in Boston, went 5 innings and a third, gave up 2 earned runs, and then he made 1 in Detroit, went 6 innings, allowed just 2 earned runs. So both starts were good against the Tigers last season. Couple of matchups to watch against Pivetta today. Gleyber Torres has 2 home runs against him. Javi Baez has a home run against Pivetta as well. Right-hander Jack Flaherty on the mound for the Tigers, 1-1 at 2.53 ERA. 4 starts so far this year, gave up 3 runs in 4 2/3 innings against the Brewers last Tuesday. Flaherty had been really good prior to that. He allowed just 3 runs in 16+ innings during his first 3 starts of the season. Flaherty has struggled against the Padres since the start of 2023. That includes his postseason start in the NLDS against the Padres last year. Flaherty has a 9.45 ERA in 13+ innings against the Padres in his last 3 starts against them. And how about this? Opponents are hitting just 167 on Flaherty's breaking pitches this season. So keep that in mind. Can the Padres hit the Flaherty breaking ball, the varieties of it today? He's been very good with those breaking pitches, and that's a look at our starting pitching matchup between Jack Flaherty and Nick Pivetta. As always, thank you for listening to the EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show. EcoWater SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. Your water should be perfect. When we come back, we go out to Detroit, Michigan. You'll hear from Jesse Agler and Tony Gwynn Jr. They have the full starting lineups, first pitch, and all the play-by-play. I'll talk to you on our post-game coverage. You're listening to your home for San Diego Padres baseball, 97.3 The Fan, and the Padres Radio Network.
Experience the excitement of your San Diego Padres at Sequan Casino Resort. Catch all the action on screens throughout the casino. Sign up for your Padres Club Sequan card today. Sequan Casino Resort, the official casino partner of the San Diego Padres.
Tony Gwynn Jr. here. Have you voted for San Diego County Credit Union in the San Diego's Best Union Tribune Readers Poll? SDCCU takes care of the